What's going on, everyone? My name is Shax, and welcome back to the channel. It feels good. We're finally back here with another narrative roadmap breakdown for the last half of the year. It's already been half a year. I mean, it's literally insane how fast this year went by. And I was taking a lot of time to focus on myself, getting a new job. So if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm staying busy, going to school again, trying to go for my master's. And I was actually on vacation this Friday, so I couldn't even react to the stream or anything for this narrative roadmap, but it was really awesome. And I did see that Jax left. My heart goes out to him because he's just an awesome dude, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future, man. He's brought so much love to the community, and especially these narrative roadmaps, even though they're different than before. Like with Max doing the narrative roadmap before. This has still been pretty sweet. It's sometimes really difficult. It makes me mad sometimes, but it's all good, man. We're gonna be going over each prediction of who I chose, why I chose them, why the class is important, because some classes we weren't told, so we kind of have to use some context clues, and yeah, bring up bring up the maps, bring up mystery synergies. This is a deep dive into it, and I'm really excited to go over it. This narrative roadmap was a little different, looking at July's, which, hey, I got correct. I'm pretty awesome and happy about that. But, yeah, so there's an anagram, and then there's color swatches, and basically we are told some of the classes for some of the months. So just looking at July, you can kind of see red, white, and blue for Patriot, and then orange, yellow, and green, the main colors of these champions, and you can kind of see some colors are there's a lot of green in this, a lot of green compared to how much orange, or even the amount of red compared to blue. So you can kind of see they're not, the colors aren't a 1-to-1 ratio of the characters. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's color, so it's very difficult to predict. But starting off, we're going to go in August. We fight, we're getting Beta Ray built, man. I don't know if you guys have been saying, but if you guys have seen, but I've been saying Beer Bill is coming almost every year, and then he even showed up in a vote, and I was like, oh, dude, well, he got what, third place, I think, and we know he's coming, and so, man, it feels so good. And once we got that, the Vox synergy, the Annihilator synergy, I was like, dude, finally this dude is oh man, he's been the most teased champ of all time. So I'm really happy. And we kind of got this tease that this will be about the World Tree. So continue that World Tree storyline, very Asgard, because Beta's a big part of that. And you can kind of see his colors, his blue outfit with the gold trimming, the gold helmet, Stormbreaker, and then the red from his mohawk and his cape. So you can kind of see the other color is green. It's green. It's very different shades of green. I know this, I think Tyler said he did this in Procreate, so he says some shades are from mixing colors or blending colors, so kind of got to keep that in mind. But they did say a Mystic joins with Beta, because Beta's obviously cosmic. We know he is because of the vote, so yeah, we know he's coming with a Mystic who wears green, and there's literally two Mystics that are very popular that both wear green, and that is Enchantress, who's Asgardian, so it would make sense, and Morgan Le Fay, who was in the first Summer's Choice, and as well as the underdog vote. So two very popular characters, I would say. And I chose Enchantress just because earlier this year we thought it was Booty and the Beast for March, so we all thought it was Beta. The Beast, quote unquote, and then Enchantress, the beauty, and she loves to enchant people and control them. I mean, I think you guys have all seen Loki, hopefully, and you've seen the MCU version, or at least an MCU variant version of Enchantress, Sylvie. So Kabam could go that route as well. So there are definitely some options. I think so I was looking at people's predictions, and Fing Fang Foom, if Fing Fang Foom is a Mystic. He obviously is a green alien dragon. It would be really freaking dope. But I don't know who else could be, because I don't think Agatha fits because she doesn't wear green. So if you guys have any other options, I'd love to hear it, man. But I think that's gonna do it for August. I'm excited. Yeah. Let me put up September. So September we get Shathra, who once I saw that people were liking her, I was like, dude, I actually think she's gonna win the whole thing, because people just see a really cool design and vote for her, and she is a really cool character. She's a multiversal character. She wanted to do her own Web of Destiny, but her sister kind of did a better job at doing it, and actually got to do it. So she's an evil version of the Web of Destiny creator. So it's really awesome. And this event was probably one of the weirder ones. So we don't know the class that comes with her. We just know that she's Mystic. We know that the event quest is in Latin. So maybe that turns into Lupus and Fabula, maybe Wolf in the Story, or Speak of the Devil. And then we see there's a lot of, like, her character is very blue and, like, very dark blue and lights and blues, and we see like a yellow, maybe a green with red. So, you know, green and red, you know, you kind of figure like only a few characters fit green and red. And I chose Lizard. He wasn't my first choice personally, but like trying to figure out someone who could come with Shathra, who normally the summoner choice doesn't come with someone related, as we've seen every year. You know, it comes with a predetermined character. But I don't know, half the vote this time was Spider-Man related in some way. And we do know the event quest is about the 6 bosses are going to be major villains of Marvel. So Shathra, I wouldn't necessarily say she's a major villain. You know, in Kabam have even said in the past that, you know, Danny Moonstar is a famous X-Men, or infamous or whatever, iconic. And, you know, as a comic reader, I categorize these characters differently. So maybe it just means popular characters, or, you know, famous characters like Lizard, of course, and maybe like Speak of the Devil, or, you know, a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, Lizard has that werewolf type of character traits in the sense that he loses control, he, you know, lizards out. So I think it'd be a great option. Of course, he'd be Science. And we do know he was added to the Oscorp Lab fighting stage. So, you know, if he's not coming this year, he's coming next year. And honestly, September 2nd champion was pretty difficult to come up with, because you're talking about like a green and red character, which people thought Mandarin, which is interesting. I still think if Kabam are going to do the MCU version, because honestly, Marvel themselves haven't really focused on the classic comic version since Shang-Chi. So I think they introduced that into the comics, so I don't see why they wouldn't do that. And maybe they would do a green and red suit, I don't know. But yeah, like I don't know if Shathra would come with a Mystic. 2 Mystics in the same month would be really strange. We know for sure we're getting 4 Mystics within the next half year. So, yeah, I don't see us getting a ton of Mystics in a row. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If you have guys any other suggestions that are green and red characters, I'd love to hear it out. But those are kind of who I picked, and I'm excited. All right, going over October. This one's my favorite, man. This one's my favorite. So October, we know that it's probably House of Horrors, the translation for the event quest name. It's a Halloween event. It has to do with Jessica Jones solving a mystery with the carnivals. And honestly, like I saw red and yellow, and everyone knew it was Scream. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but Kabam have, like, you go back to the State of the Battle map from like 2022. There was a symbiote spot. Like, we have not filled that symbiote spot since. So it absolutely, I think, is Scream. She'd be the first female symbiote, which I think is very, like, crazy that we don't have one yet. And we have some originals in game, of course, which kind of, you know, obviously skew that result. But yeah, I think the symbiote Scream would be such a great character, such an iconic character, compared to the symbiotes of importance. She's really up there, and made a cameo in a recent video game, so I don't want to spoil that. But yeah, so I think a very important character. And then the second character, of course, she would be Cosmic. We did find out that these month would be a Cosmic and a Tech. So a Cosmic symbiote, of course, would make sense, and then a Tech. This one was really hard to predict, honestly. Like, I feel really strange about this one, to be honest, because you clearly see green and yellow. And of course, I think Tyler mentioned that the colors in this one were really skewed, in a sense that he mixed them around a lot. So maybe that green was originally blue. You know, maybe there's an orange in there, but it turned yellow or whatever with the red. So I went with Hobgoblin. Honestly, Hobgoblin feels like the easy answer, but a Tech to come with the symbiote, there's not much to go off of. You know, I saw people saying Jack-o'-lantern, but honestly, guys, Hobgoblin literally, like, was in a vote. So he was, I think, teased, like, literally mentioned in game before. I think Kabam have even mentioned him on stream before, or in some context. He was one of the names that showed up in the stream chat, and I think Jack said one of them is correct. Scream was mentioned, Jack-o'-lantern and Scream were mentioned, but, you know, depending on when they read that, you know, could mean that. So I think for sure Scream. Hobgoblin I'm still on the fence on. I just don't think, like, if we're going to get a Tech Jack and not a Mystic, I don't see why we would get Hobgoblin, who we know is going to come to the game, like a Summoner's Choice loser, versus, you know, Jack would be very similar, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I couldn't really think of anyone else. I just couldn't find a better answer. And like maybe the green is from his face, because sometimes he's colored with a green face, like Green Goblin. So yeah, maybe that green was from his face, and they decided to do green from the face and orange or yellow from his outfit. We'll see. If not, it's gonna be a very hard character to predict. So let me know what you guys think. That one's a tough one. That one is a tough one. All right, now let's go to the freaking universally everyone agrees. Hopefully, November, man. Oh my gosh, like this is the easiest one. So obviously, we do know the character classes, which would be Mutant and Mystic. We know it's a Mojo event, which has been awesome because, like, oh man, we do know Arcade just recently got a synergy, literally referencing Spiral and Dazzler and a storyline in the Ultimate Universe. So we know Spiral or Dazzler has been looked at like to join for a long time. I think in 2022, the 2022 map, there was a Mojo spot. So we know there was a Mojo spot. Spiral's been talked about for years, saying, hey, she has 6 arms, it's very difficult to rig. But that means Kabam got to the point of rigging a character model. So you would assume they would have to figure out the tech before she joined. And Dazzler, of course, was in the vote in the Summoner's Choice, and then I think was brought back for the underdog vote. So yeah, 2 characters who both wear blue and white. I mean, like, it's a Mojo event, and people wear blue and white. Spiral is a spellcaster and Dazzler is a mutant, so like it's literally like I feel set in stone with this one, which is really awesome. I think it's really awesome when you have literally mystery synergy. You have a 2 to 3 year old map that helps that, and you have the votes, and then you have tons of tweets about Kabam talking about them. So yeah, I'm really excited. I don't see it being anyone else. Like even Shatterstar, who could be mutant technically. Doesn't really wear only white and blue. He's got a lot of other colors, so I feel very confident with this one. And finally, definitely probably the hardest one is freaking December, man. Oh my gosh, like December one has kind of like clogged my brain. And even Tyler said that this one's the hardest one. Like he said he'll be very surprised if anyone guesses a character based off this color or these colors. So yeah, I try to think outside the box for this one. Like I try not to keep it too literal of like, hey, to me it looks pink and yellow. Okay, who are pink and yellow characters? Okay, you got Madcap, right? He's a pink and yellow character. A very rare choice because we know the story of this event is supposed to be very lore heavy, very lore important. Yeah, man, like I don't. There wasn't anyone who came up in my mind. Like I think it was probably from colors alone, Madcap, and Arnim Zola. Like because Arnim Zola's already in the game, but if they did his classic suit, it's pink and yellow. I think it also has been turned or magenta and yellow. So you can kind of see like some magenta at the top, some pink, some white, and then some yellow. And yeah, I don't really Violent Delights. I think is what people have said the anagram is. So someone who has Violent Delights, so someone villainous. And honestly, I chose Clea, which is a weird choice, I know. But honestly, there's been like a Mystic character who I felt like didn't fit the map 2 years ago. Like I feel like we fit Mystic characters around Rinchar and Wong, or like some fit, like only Spidey Supreme I felt fit, and not anyone else. And even Spidey Supreme could have been put in the Spider category and not the Temple of Ashanti. So Clea, and the recent Sorcerer Supreme in the comics, so someone Marvel is going to be very important about. She's the wife of Doctor Strange. She wears a magenta outfit. Her magic is yellow. She even has a Dormammu form because she's the niece of Dormammu, so she goes into like a Dormammu form where her eyes turn yellow, her mouth turns yellow, like Dormammu in his fire. So yeah, I think this could be a really cool character to join. And of course, looking at the map in the background, if we're gonna, I guess that's not even my updated one, but Agatha is also a great choice. I want to say I couldn't find any yellow on Agatha, but she was definitely up there. And I just don't feel like Arnim Zola would probably, I guess, be science, even though he could be tech, and that's what the Hydrodeptoid is, tech. Madcap would be science, but like Madcap is such a strange character. Like if that is what it is, and everyone's guessing Madcap, like I feel like that would be weird if Tyler said like, oh, think don't like he felt it weird if it was based off the colors. But yeah, so I picked Mystic for December, so that way Shathra doesn't join with a Mystic. And I think Clea as a character, showed up in Doctor Strange 2, was supposed to be a main member of that movie, but it will be of the future. Sword Supreme in the comics right now, like I think it's a really cool character to join. If not, I don't think anyone's right with December. Like honestly, December is a really hard one. I also forgot to mention that Venom 3 releases in October, and every time a Venom movie has came to the game, we have gotten a symbiote. Venom 1, we got Symbiote Strange, and we got Venom the Duck. Venom 2, we got Anti-Venom and Null. Venom 3, we're probably getting Scream or whoever, maybe 2 symbiotes, maybe 1, we don't know. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens. Kraven, I think, does release in December, but I don't think that has any prevalence. I mean, technically, Kraven already released in December, like, so that's really funny. But yeah, that's gonna do it for my predictions. I try to make these videos really short. I know we're at 15 minutes, but yeah, that's why I chose each one. If you guys have any options or characters I didn't mention, please leave them down in the comments. I love to hear it and see what people are thinking. And if any mystery synergies come out in the future, I'll update the map. I'll try to, if any, in-game dialogue teases anyone, I'll update it. So I'll keep you guys informed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.